LTV News is back, and we're so excited for all the news we have to share with you today. From an unexpected visitor at FDR Park, the Philadelphia Zoo's newest attraction, and how LaSalle prepares for graduation weekend this spring. Hello, I'm Erin Holly.
And I'm Casey Medico. Stay tuned to hear about how a California man broke the record for most times visiting Disneyland, and how this family was surprised to find out their pet dog isn't actually a dog. You won't want to miss it. You're watching LTV News, where the action never stops.
Hello and welcome to LTV News, where we bring you everything from 20th and Olney Avenue, Philadelphia, and the world.
There's a lot to catch up on in the next half hour, as Tori had the chance to speak with Ariana Farrell, a sophomore who runs the Students at LaSalle Instagram account. And just before spring break, Donnie and Maddie had the opportunity to check out Philadelphia Flower Show that took place last week.
It's almost the end of the school year, and we all know what that means. Commencement weekend is just around the corner. Mark your calendars, LaSallians. Commencement weekend for the class of 2023 will be the second weekend of May. Graduation ceremonies will be held on Saturday, May 13th, outside at the McCarthy Stadium. Undergraduates who are receiving associate's and bachelor's degrees will take part in the ceremony at 10 a.m., and the graduate ceremony will be held at 4 p.m. Graduates are permitted 4 primary tickets and 4 supplemental tickets if the weather permits. In addition to Saturday's festivities, Baccalaureate Mass will be on Friday, May 12th at 6 p.m., followed by a gala in the Union Ballroom. More details about Commencement Weekend 2023 will be announced in the coming weeks.
Former LaSalle soccer All-American Renee Washington was hired as a sports reporter for 6ABC in Philadelphia. Washington attended LaSalle University, where she was a star player on the women's soccer team. She even led the women's team to its first ever conference tournament championship and NCAA tournament appearance. She was soon placed in the LaSalle Hall of Fame. Washington pursued her master's degree while also being a coach to the women's soccer team. Before working with 6ABC, she previously worked for the WNBA, as well as Fox Sports, where she was the female sports news analyst. She was also the game day host for the Philadelphia Union on the PHL 17 broadcast.
For the 2022-2023 academic year, LaSalle University has been ranked as a silver medal school on the military-friendly schools list. More than 1,800 schools and institutions are ranked on the list according to how well they serve active duty military personnel, veterans, and their families. The evaluation criteria for ranking include veteran student retention, graduation rates, job placements, and loan repayment of all students. Gold, silver, or bronze categories were only given to the top third of evaluated institutions. With its silver award, LaSalle has proven to be premier military-friendly institution. This acknowledgement represents a step up from LaSalle's prior listing in 2021 when it was given a friendly rating. Victory and the Military Friendly Advisory Council created the list of military-friendly schools.
At the age of 82, Storch B. Stow, an emeritus professor of LaSalle University, passed suddenly. Stowe worked at LaSalle for more than 50 years, starting in 1972, when he was a specialist in ancient and medieval history. He was a well-known authority in his area who gained respect on the national and international levels for his research and expertise in ancient and medieval history. In addition, Stowe helped establish a public history specialization in 2009 and co-founded a master's degree in history in 2004. In 2003, he received the Lindback Outstanding Teaching Award, which honors excellence in instruction. From us here at LaSalle, you will be dearly missed, Professor.
LaSalle held its 22nd annual Economic Outlook to address questions such as the immediate and long-term future of the U.S. economy and when will inflation end. Numerous business students at LaSalle attended the meeting, as well as President Daniel J. Allen and the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia President Patrick Harker. President Allen praised LaSalle students and alumni, stating, quote, "Nearly 70% of students and alumni stay in Philadelphia to work, raise their families, and volunteer in communities. I think that if LaSalle alums in Philadelphia who are lawyers, accountants, judges, nurses, teachers, and government leaders decided to take the day off, the city would grind to a halt, end quote. The event was a success and hopes to continue providing crucial information to Philadelphian city officials and locals for the coming years.
Last week, Tori had the opportunity to sit down with Oriana Farrell, the sophomore student here at LaSalle who runs the Students of LaSalle Instagram page.
Hey guys, my name is Tori Walker, and today I'll be interviewing Oriana Farrell, who is a student here at LaSalle University, and she currently manages the Student at LaSalle Instagram page. Hey Oriana, how you doing today? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I know that you do a lot for Student at LaSalle and other Instagram pages, of course.
Yeah.
But Student at LaSalle is kind of like the main Instagram page. I feel like you currently manage or anything like that. Talk about that and how did you really get the start into like managing, that Instagram page,
Well, the previous university marketing chair, she came up to me and was like, hey, I think you'd be a really great fit for this. I've seen your Instagram, I've seen your flyers, because I work with Kira Spato in the union service.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she was just like, hey, I think you'd be really great for this. We want to get this started. Would you want to take this on? That was last year, November. And so ever since then, I was like, yeah, of course. And then this year, we just kind of fully put the job description together and so now it's an official university job.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Did you have any previous experience with working other Instagram accounts or anything like that? How did she really find you?
In my high school, I was the only time that I actually had a experience of it, and that was just because I was in ASB, the student leadership stuff, and they were like, hey, can you run this? And I did that for 4 years of high school, but I kind of thought after I graduated high school I would step away from that, but I really was just seeing my flyers and stuff like that, where she was kind of like, hey, we want a student Instagram page for this, and we want your graphics on there, and I'm like, okay.
So I know that it gotta be kind of a tough job, maybe I would say, it has to be a lot to it. So what's a day in a life? What's a day in a life for you managing this Instagram account?
It really does depend, just because there's some days that are more, time needing than others. Like this past week we did the TikTok challenge, and that was constantly on the phone 24/7. But spring break coming up, I know I'm not going to be on social media that much, except for just a few posts here and there, checking in on students, making sure our analytics are good and our view count is up, and that's kind of just about it for that week. So it really just depends.
Do you think there's any pros and cons? What do you like and what do you kind of dislike about the job, you think?
My biggest pro is that when I first started being a freshman,
Oh, wow.
having to walk around being hey, can I take a picture of you? Can I interview you for this? Can we talk about this? And that sort of stuff was amazing, just because I feel I met so many people really fast. And so that was probably the biggest pro, is just getting to meet other students, hear about their clubs and their lives. And then I think there really wouldn't be any cons, just because it's just so much fun. I like to be busy, so I'm okay with it.
I'm not saying
yeah.
Low key. Is it hard, trying to juggle schoolwork? Because I know you're a sophomore, right? It's a hard kind of juggling schoolwork all while managing. I know you manage a lot of Instagram accounts, so how does that work for you?
I try to make sure my school comes first. I'll do that during the day. And then at night is where I grind social media. And so it's sometimes I kind of have to live okay, 45 minutes here, an hour and a half here, maybe 20 minutes.
Schedule.
Oh yeah. And on the weekends I really plan out and draft a lot of my posts, and I put a lot of planning into this. I have a whole schedule and everything.
Wow.
So yeah.
What's the response from students? How do they? I know there's a lot of engagement with students, different students here at LaSalle. How do you see that response on, with the comments or anything like that? What does that make you feel?
I sometimes when I make a post and I see comments of students hyping up each other's friends, or oh, I didn't know this was there, this is amazing. My favorite comments are from alumni when they're oh, this club was never here, and I get to see this now, that's amazing. So sometimes students think hey, Students at LaSalle reaches us, but no, it reaches alumni, prospective students who might want to come here. So they're always looking around being wow, this is super cool, and this is super cool, and getting to see an engaging comment with them. I try to keep it professional, but I always want to be oh, that's rad, or something like that. I try to connect it to us, but I love it. I think the responses from students, it gives students a really good outlet to be hey, here's some concerns we have, let's bring it to you, and take it that way, or we need to talk about this, or we needed this to be shared. And I feel students realize this is a great account to like be able to voice what they need.
Definitely. Do you see yourself working like a social media manager in the future, like as a career? What do you think?
I'm not sure.
Really?
I'm an education major, so my heart belongs to the kids.
For sure.
But I don't know. I might go back to school to kind of study marketing. But as of right now, I'm just really looking at this as like this is my job. It's definitely a hobby I enjoy, but kids are definitely coming first.
I feel that. Pursue your passion, right?
Yeah.
Lastly, I want to talk about, you guys are implementing a kind of a survey, mental health survey, I feel like.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about that, and like where can students go in order to do that survey?
So make sure you just check your inbox. Like we are sending out, like there's like the JED survey, there's the NESI, there's like the health and mindset one. They're different surveys are geared to different students, but like making sure you're checking your inbox is like the best way to be able to like make sure that you're completing those. It really does help give the university like, proof to be able to be like, hey, like these are the things that our students need. Here's the things that they don't need, and that way we're able to like build something off of that. But when students like don't fill out the surveys or they don't interact, like we don't know.
Exactly.
So it's super important to fill those out. So check your inboxes.
For sure, definitely. Check your inbox, you guys, for sure. That's it. I appreciate you for coming on today.
Yeah.
Stop by the communication center whenever you have a free pass in here, whenever you want, for sure.
Yeah, thank you so much for having
For sure,
me.
definitely. Now back to the desk with Aaron and Casey.
Infamous sandwich spot Nick's Roast Beef on Common Avenue is closing permanently after 53 years of dedicated food service. The bar and restaurant hosted a final farewell party earlier this month to commemorate its dedicated patron and staff, past and present. The reason for closure was due to leasing demands that the local spot could no longer meet. Matthew Rossi, restaurant owner, recounts the goodbye party as, quote, a celebration of life today, with a lot of customers who have been coming here forever and former employees reliving memories, end quote. The second Nick's location on Woodhaven Road will remain open, with jobs available to all of the former Cotman Ave employees. Rossi also stated his intent to open a new restaurant in Ben Salem Township was set to open sometime in April.
Students at Temple University are standing up and speaking out against the school's relaxed approach to their safety. They marched their way to the front of the university's president's office earlier this month, demanding increased crime control. Students feel insecure after recent break-ins, assaults, and gun-related incidences happening so close to where they live. Campus officer Sergeant Christopher Fitzgerald was fatally assaulted last month during a tragic attempted robbery. After the loss of Temple student Sam Collington in 2021, Jason Wingard, university president, promised to increase campus security. Reports find, however, that there's actually fewer Temple police officers than before. John Mangin, another upset student, stated, quote, I was a junior when it happened. I could have stepped away and taken my educational pursuits somewhere else, end quote. Students are now demanding better leadership, clearer communication, and more from campus officers.
A 3-foot caiman was humanly removed from FDR Park by animal protection officers earlier this month. A local fisherman was going about his day when he spotted an alligator-like reptile just beneath the surface. According to animal shelter ACCT Philly, the gator was likely kept and released as a pet, a practice not advised to owners of exotic animals. In addition to potentially harming people and pets, allowing the unnatural animal to go free forces them into an unfamiliar environment. Sarah Barnett, executive director of ACCT, stated, quote, more people than you would think have these as pets, end quote. Adult caiman may grow to be 5 feet long with a bite stronger than the bite of a great white shark. The purchasing of these reptiles also supports the exotic animal trade, as gator skin is commonly sought after in the leather market, according to ACCT.
With that news, we're going to take a quick break, but stick around to hear about Florida's newest law, a new rule from a local Chick-fil-A, and now Fetterman is supporting a new bill from inside the hospital.
Pennsylvania Senator John Fetterman co-sponsored a bill while remaining in the hospital. Senator Fetterman has been hospitalized and has been receiving treatment for his depression for almost 2 months now. The senator did not want this hospitalization to impact what he can do to change only Pennsylvania, but the country. The bill is helping rail safety for trains to avoid future crises such as derailments. The rail system is something Senator Fetterman holds very close to his heart, so when it came to him, he immediately wanted to help. Senator Fetterman has not made a comment yet, as he is still focusing on his recovery, and we are hoping him well.
On February 22nd, a Chick-fil-A restaurant located in Royersford, Pennsylvania announced that they will no longer allow unaccompanied children and teens to dine at their location. The restaurant made this decision through a Facebook post. The post said that the decision was made due to the unacceptable behavior of a group of teens. These behaviors included loud volume, foul language, mistreatment of property and employees, and unsafe actions in the parking lot. The post read, quote, "We want to provide a comfortable and safe environment for our guests and our staff, and also to protect our building. As a result, to dine in our restaurant, anyone under the age of 16 is required to be accompanied by an adult," end quote. Chick-fil-A also apologizes to those teens who have been behaved correctly, and even though they can't dine in Chick-fil-A, it still encourages teens to order takeout.
This spring, the Philadelphia Zoo will be adding giant animatronic bugs and dinosaurs to bring new experiences for those dino lovers out there. Staying Power, Be Distinct or Go Extinct opens to the public on April 1st, and tickets are on sale now. Staying Power will take visitors through the time of dinosaurs up until the present day, showing the powerful changes and challenges of dinosaurs that made them extinct. Philadelphia Zoo Chief Marketing and Experience Officer Amy Shearer said the exhibit is a dynamic experience that will pull guests side by side with some of the biggest and smallest animals to walk the earth, and it challenges guests to look at the adaptations that we have as humans to make a difference for the future of our planet. The exhibit will include a 60-foot-long dinosaur, an Earth-themed portal, and an asteroid. If you want the chance to live through this experience, get your tickets now at www.philadelphiazoo.org/stayingpower.
Just before spring break, the annual Philly Flower Show took place at the Pennsylvania Convention Center. While people from all over got to enjoy the show, Donnie and Maddie also had the chance to head over there and see what was going on.
Yeah, so we are in the entrance garden at the Philadelphia Flower Show. We've named the garden Flora Struck because you're supposed to be kind of taken aback and get your breath taken away when you enter this garden. It's a juxtaposition of color and texture and shape and light, and that's what this garden is kind of all about. This show is a very old show. It's started many, many, many years ago as just a place where people could show their plants. And now it has become this incredible experience. We have 32 major exhibitors that come from all over the world to show their craft, landscape architecture, floral design, and we have a lot of other amazing experiences for guests to participate in as well. So it's a show, but then there are things to do. We have great activities for families. We have great things to create and crafts. We have amazing music to listen to. So it's an amazing experience for all of our guests, young and old. A lot goes into it. So we begin this process as soon as the last show ends, we start the new. So it is a year-long process. And actually our last show happened 8 months ago, so it was an even shorter time that we had to produce this event. So months and months and months of planning, and then the load-in time to get in here though is pretty short actually. We're here for a week and a half, and all of this happens in that time period. So it's a very compressed load-in to get to this place. We're in it. This is my favorite one. The entrance garden is incredible. The lights, the music, the color. It is everything we dreamed up it to be. If you see the renderings that we produced, leading up to the show, they really mirror this experience that was created. So I love it. It is so joyful, and it's amazing to see the guests come in and truly like be wowed by what they're seeing.
Florida Animal Welfare Bill would ban dogs from heads out the car window. Florida legislature is considering a comprehensive animal welfare bill that would ban owners from letting a dog extend its head or other body parts from a car window while driving on a public roadway. This bill says that violators will be subject to a non-criminal traffic infraction, considering a moving violation. This bill will also regulate how dogs can be transported in cars and would ban Floridians from holding dogs in their lap while driving or transporting their dog via running board, fender, hood, roof, or trunk. Instead, they must be secured in appropriate sizes crates, restraints with harness or pet seatbelt. This bill would also create an animal abuse registry, similar to registries that currently exist for sex offenders. The registry would include information on convicted animal abusers.
The famous coffee chain Starbucks is introducing new beverages, and these beverages will be made with extra virgin olive oil. Even though the drinks will be made with olive oil, owners state that the taste or consistency will not be affected. Since the drinks are now being produced with olive oil, the calorie intake will now go up an extra 120 calories. Drinks with olive oil will start being introduced to the world first in Italy starting in 2023. The new olive oil drinks will start being sold in the U.S. when they hit stores in Southern California this spring. From there, they'll roll out some markets in the U.K., Middle East, and Japan. The olive oil addition is permanent, unlike some of their other products that are seasonal products, almond milk, for example.
Huntington Beach resident Jeff Reitz has been certified a world record holder after visiting Disneyland nearly 3,000 times in a row. After his achievement of 2,995 visits to the theme park, he gathered recognition from Guinness Book of World Records. Reitz states that he started to visit the park in 2012 and thought it would be fun to keep returning, especially when the park announced a 24-hour event for a leap day. He states that he considered Disneyland a place of happiness. He was also able to go to the park and walk around, stretch his legs, and get fresh air. Over the years, Disneyland has gifted Reitz with various gifts as he has hit milestones, one of the gifts being an honorary citizenship certificate.
You know that feeling of disappointment when you buy food at a restaurant and you notice that something's missing from your order? A Georgia woman, Belinda H. Miller, was more than disappointed when biscuits were missing from her order at Popeyes. Even after the restaurant staff fixed their mistake and gave Miller her missing biscuits, she proceeded to threaten the employees and then crash her car into the building on purpose. She almost struck an 18-year-old employee with her vehicle and then fled the scene in her damaged SUV. Miller was charged with first-degree criminal damage to property and aggravated assault. She has since been arrested and given a bond for over $4,000. Next time you're missing something from your food order, try not to end up in jail.
We have just one more break, but stay tuned to hear more about this family.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
A family in a remote part of China adopted what they thought to be a dog, only to find out 2 years later that it was actually a bear. Su Yun, who lives near the city of Kunming, said she bought what she was led to believe to be a Tibetan Mastiff puppy. Tibetan Mastiffs are huge dogs with thick black and brown fur that can weigh up to 150 pounds. Sue was immediately shocked at her pet's appetite. She fed it a box of fruits and 2 buckets of noodles a day. After 2 years of owning the dog, he was beginning to reach almost 250 pounds. Sue reached out to authorities and they quickly identified it as a black bear, which is classified as a vulnerable species. The bear had to be tranquilized before being transferred to the Yunnan Wildlife Rescue because staff was afraid to go near the bear while it was fully alert. Officials have reported the bear is living happily in its new home.
Heinz Ketchup wants to catch up. A sailor sends an SOS to the man who spent weeks lost at sea in January. Surviving largely off of ketchup, Heinz is looking to track down this man in hopes to buy him a new state-of-the-art boat. The company posted a call out to social media on February 14th, hoping to track down Dominican sailor Elvis Francois. They have reached out to the government of Dominica as well as the Colombian Navy, who rescued him. Heinz is asking for any credible leads so they can help cover a new boat equipped with full navigation technology to avoid another disaster in the future. Heinz suggests fans use their hashtag Find the Ketchup Boat guide to amplify their search.
All right, so we have to talk about the elephant in the room here. What was going on at this Georgia
There
Popeyes?
seemed to be a lot going on there. She really had to take her anger out on that building, running her car through it. That was uncalled for.
This is one of the most absurd food-related news stories that we've covered. So I just feel for the Popeyes employees, and hopefully that doesn't happen to them again.
For real.
Well, that just about does it for this episode of LTV News, but be sure to find us on the web as the rest of LaSalle TV on our Facebook page. We love to hear your thoughts, so tweet at us using our Twitter handle and start the conversation.
If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes on our YouTube on our LaSalle TV Philly page.
Until next episode, from Tori, Donnie, Maddie, Casey, and the entire crew, I'm Erin Holly. Thanks for watching LTV News, where the action never stops.